Grab your cocktail shaker, kick back, and get ready for the big fat party. Greg and his band of unintelligibles are back, mixing, drinking, reviewing, and discussing Bloody Marys and all that goes with them. My Big Fat Bloody Mary podcast, where you'll never drink alone.
Welcome to episode 30 of my Big Fat Bloody Mary podcast. From Wisconsin's sunny west coast, why drink alone when you can drink with us? Today's episode is brought to you by the Bloody Mary Concert Series, where you can hear great national artists like Eef Barzilay, August 19th. Okay, we're looking for sponsors. That's us being our own sponsor. I'm not going to lie. Maybe you'd like to sponsor one of these shows. We've had a few offers. They didn't pay enough, so we said no. But if you'd like to sponsor an episode or 10, hit us up on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook, My Big Fat Bloody Mary Podcast. We're also on the web, mybigfatbloodymary.com. Hit us up on Twitter at My Big Fat Bloody Mary. We're also on Instagram, Big Fat Bloody Mary. And on Snapchat, we are Big Papa.
Papa, I like it when you call me Big Papa.
So who are we today? I'm Greg. I'm going to be your host. Joining me today, a special guest. Who the fuck are you?
I'm Rachel.
Rachel. And I brought Rachel on board for a couple of reasons. One, she's hot, but that doesn't benefit you guys at all. The other thing is that she's a writer, like the person we're going to be talking with today. And I'm not sure if our listeners realize, but I don't know how to read. So Rachel was kind enough to read the book for me, which really filled in a lot of, the pictures in this book that we're going to talk about are amazing, but to actually hear the words that go with them for me was really... It really opened up a whole new dimension to the book. So thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, last week was quite a bit of fun. We reviewed, last week. Okay, it was a couple weeks ago. I've been slacking, and these things are coming out about every 2-3 weeks. But we reviewed K Bloody Mary Mix. We talked with Kaya. That was a great mix. If you want to go back, episode 29, and learn more about that, really a phenomenal mix. And then we had Corey Call from Denver, Colorado, right here in the studios, and he did a couple of songs, which were not too shabby. So, yeah, I'm bragging. I'm on a roll. Might as well point out the fact that we have had, Rachel, do you want to guess how many downloads we've had?
I'm going to go with 100,000.
Not bad. You're close.
Is that good?
No, it's been 20, but...
Oh,
yeah, I put that on your script.
you threw me.
I can't believe you fell for that. No, yeah, it's true. We cracked the 100,000 download mark about in the middle of this week. And it's kind of a sad commentary that people around the world have nothing better to do than listen to this nonsense. But God bless you all. Thanks for listening. And thanks a lot to the people who share our podcasts on social media. We appreciate that. Whenever they do that, by the way, they get entered into whatever contest we happen to have going. And we do have one today, but I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. There is one, though. But today,
I don't get to know either.
No, you don't. Well, and you're ineligible to win now that you're part of the crew.
Shit.
Yeah. Way to fuck that up. So today we're gonna, in addition to trying to sell you stickers, My Big Fat Bloody Mary stickers, which you can get at mybigfatbloodymary.com, and you'll hear about those again.
I hope so.
We'll recap.
I want to talk about them a lot.
We'll recap that like a mofo. But we're gonna get our drink on, and I'm pretty excited about this because A, I love drinking. B, we have some really cool recipes from the book. So we're going to be reviewing, the book is called The Bloody Mary, The Lore and Legend of a Cocktail Classic with Recipes for Brunch and Beyond by Brian Bartles. Photos by Eric Metzger. And maybe you remember hearing about that contest.
Just now?
Yeah. Here it comes.
Here, okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
We're right. We're going to give away a copy of this very book. So,
Ooh.
and I'll reveal later what you have to do to win that. See how I'm just teasing that out?
Yeah, you are. You're doing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you're new to the whole podcast thing, Rachel, but this is a thing that we just all do. There's a
It's
name
a
for it.
move. There's a name for it, and nobody knows them. It's like a secret handshake.
Something. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna have that contest, and then we're gonna get Brian Bartles, the author of this book, on the horn, and we're gonna ask him some probing questions. We're gonna really put him on the spot. Yeah. Poor guy.
He doesn't even know what he's in for.
He has no idea. We've never interviewed the same person twice on this show. They come on once
And they're like, done.
that's it. One and done. And we're
You
going to
should try to bring someone back.
Really? I have. Oh, believe me, I have all the time.
Oh, you try.
They never do. They won't-
First date, no good.
Pretty much. Story of my life. Yeah. And then we got... yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you should just play Nickelback till they come back.
Oh, now that's like a prequel of what you did there.
I know,
like
see?
that. I like
It's
that. And that
cheating, though. I don't know.
segues into our other segment we're going to do, which is In the News. And we have some important news that our listeners probably are more interested in than, if you're listening to Fox News, there's probably a certain type of news you want to know about. If you're listening to this podcast, we cater the news more to you. So that's what people have to look forward to. So what are we drinking? That's kind of, I think, the question on a lot of people's minds.
In case you're wondering, here's what the gang is drinking this morning.
What are we drinking?
What are we drinking? What are we smoking? Might be the other question. So we're going to be trying 3 of the recipes out of this book. And there are quite a few recipes in this book. I don't know if you caught that, Rachel.
Well, I read it. You didn't.
There's a lot of pages, though, and it looked
I
like
mean, you were listening,
there's
right?
a lot of pictures.
There are
And
a lot
each
of pictures.
one I assume has a recipe that goes with it. So the 3 that we're going to try, one is called the Smoked Bloody Bull. The second one is the Bill Mary. And I think we'll hit that one up while we're talking to Brian.
Yes.
I'm working without a net here. I don't know.
Don't fall.
And the third is called Commander's Palace Bloody. So
That's a good name.
I
Isn't
like
that a
that.
good name?
It commands respect.
It does.
Palace Commander. Yep.
Enough of that. Now, on to this.
Well, we got Brian Bartles on the line here, author of Recipes from the Bloody Mary, the lore and legend of a cocktail classic with recipes for brunch and beyond. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you taking a moment to talk with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Boy, we've enjoyed the hell out of this book.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great resource. You want to maybe give us just kind of an overview of the book, what you've done here, what people will get if they pick this book up?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. Yeah, it stems from my background as the first cocktail I learned to make during brunch service almost 20 years ago in Madison, Wisconsin, where I had to learn to make a Bloody Mary first and foremost in order to kind of get my sea legs as a bartender. And it really kind of starts with that influence, the book itself, with also some chapters devoted to the background, the history of the Bloody Mary, and where it came to kind of like its origins, as well as the name itself. And then I called about 50 recipes that made the book that are all kind of blended into basically 3 different categories. One is classic cocktails or versions of the Bloody Mary, and how it got its roots, and where some of those recipes kind of started the trend for modern day recipes, which is chapter 2 in the book, followed by chapter 3 being a little bit more of the hosting a party, large format recipes geared towards those big barbecues and backyard events and graduation parties and everything between here and the moon, I guess, for get-togethers.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of nice. And we chose 3 different recipes that we're going to try on the show. We'll make you sit through one of them, but the one that we're going to make here in just a second is probably more on the, it takes a little more preparation. You might not do it for a big party, but an intimate gathering like the 3 of us are enjoying right now, I think it's perfect. That's the Bill Mary.
Great.
Yeah. So I got to ask, do you have a drink in your hand right now, or?
I do have a drink in my hand, but it's a club soda.
Oh,
Aw.
Yeah.
that's okay. I can.
I would love to be sipping on a beer or something since it's raining out, but we can't always get what we want.
Yeah, right. I'll have to
I'm more
edit that
envious
part
of you
out.
guys.
I'll edit that part out of the show that you're not drinking because our listeners have a certain expectation.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
kidding.
I mean, I did just actually come back from a 5-day road trip where I was steadily drinking pretty much every day, all day. If that makes anybody feel better.
It gives me a
That's
my
buzz.
pretty
liver
good,
is still
yeah.
recuperating, but
Yeah.
I would easily have a drink if somebody put it in my hand right now.
Nice. And you're calling us, or I'm calling you today, and you are where?
I'm in New York. I'm a partner in 5 restaurants in New York, in the West Village and Greenwich Village, and bar manager at those spots. So I just got back from I did a Bloody Mary event in Oregon last weekend, and
Cool.
now I'm standing in the backyard of one of our restaurants called Fedora, which is just about 6 years old, and I'm hanging out. I'm kind of working service, but I just took a break to hang out with you guys.
Awesome. Cheers. Appreciate
Thank you.
doing that. So, but you're originally from Wisconsin, I
I
understand.
am from small town Reedsburg, Wisconsin, right by Wisconsin Dells, and lived in Madison for about 7 or 8 years before I moved out to New York. So yeah,
Oh, is that
a lot
right?
of Wisconsin roots.
Well, we're in Wisconsin. That's where we're calling
Oh
from.
yeah,
So you're
We're
from? I
across,
didn't.
right?
That's right. Yep. The West Coast. So you're from Reedsburg. Let me think here. Well, you must know Shaylin Crowley then, Renee's
Yeah, that lives there.
cousin.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
used to date Tommy Spencer.
Tommy Spencer was one of my best friends in high school and grade school. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. See,
I just signed a
Wisconsin.
book.
We know everybody here.
Yeah, no shit.
That's amazing. I just saw.
Yeah.
I just actually saw his sister when I was in Reedsburg 2 weeks ago,
Oh
and
my God.
I gave his sister Debbie a book signed for Tommy. So,
Nice.
small world.
I guess so.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
One thing we always like to talk about is the beer chaser, which I always associate with Wisconsin, but I've noticed some of your recipes do specifically call for beer chasers. Do you think this is something that's catching on? Do you see them in New York, or is it still uniquely Wisconsin, Midwest?
It is very much still uniquely Wisconsin, and I would say, and argue the Midwest. A lot of places that I travel to and have been to in the Midwest, but it's kind of funny you bring that up. At our restaurants in New York, for example, we go through a lot of Bloody Marys and have them on our menus pretty much all day, every day, 7 days a week, and we serve each one with a beer chaser, and people still to this day, I kind of chuckle about it, but still to this day, people will have a really weird reaction of why did you just put down a beer next to my Bloody Mary? And
That's
it's
so
just
weird.
due to the fact that they're not familiar with our background back home in Wisconsin and the Midwest of having that little pony or snit or chaser or
Yeah.
whatever action word you want to reference to call that beer on the side, your sidecar, what have you.
Well, I like sidecar.
It's great.
All of this talk about chasers is making me thirsty. Rachel, should we crack our beer chaser?
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Now wait, hold on. What beer chaser are you guys having?
Well, we're in Wisconsin, so we're having a Miller Lite at the moment. Because
Nice.
we're going to be drinking all night. We're pacing ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. And as you
Good for
saw,
you.
I think I texted you a picture of what I was up to 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Very much so. That's
Yeah.
if that's a precursor to what's going on now, then I'm jealous.
We haven't really stopped,
I'm bummed I was not invited to this.
Well, you don't want to be around when I'm editing because that's boring. As I mentioned. So hey, I want to toast your grandpa, Roland Bartles.
Yeah.
Here's to him.
Grandpa
We have a nice
Roland.
little tribute to him in the front of the book. Cheers.
Yeah. Yep. He was a huge influence on my life as a writer and just doing anything artistic and worthwhile. He's a major influence, in fact. And he grew up in northern Wisconsin by Shawano, in a small town called Cecil, and lived in Shawano, Wisconsin, just outside of Green Bay for most of his life. So he's salt of the earth. He is the true kind of Wisconsinite and American that we can all salute and praise. I'm lucky to call them family.
Yeah, well, nice. And Shawano has a rich history of Bloody Marys. Rod Calkins, who lives up there, also known as the Bloody Mary guy on Instagram, he's got a pretty big following. And I know
Yep.
he's a regular listener, so here's to Shawano as well. Cool.
Well, hey, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this is Rachel's first time on the show, so I thought I would just completely put her on the spot now to talk to you while I make the Bill Mary.
Okay.
So, and she's going to be just charming as fuck right now. So, all right, go.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I'm kind of curious. What made you decide to write a book?
You're kind of curious of what? I'm sorry. I
What
didn't
made
hear.
you decide to write this book?
I had an opportunity to write the book. Actually, a friend of mine who's connected with the publisher let me know that he recommended me for the Bloody Mary book, and that was a really nice way of getting my foot in the door. So
Yeah, no kidding.
I submitted a proposal, and within a couple of weeks, I had an opportunity to connect with everybody surrounding 10 Speed, who became my publisher, and they were really delighted by the proposal, and we hit the ground running from that. It was that was just under 2 years ago, and so it's kind of a process. The publishing world, from what I've gathered, it takes a little bit of time in order to get things to work. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like a little bit of a slower process, but at the same time, it was a learning curve for me. I've never published a book before. It was a great opportunity to do something like this, and I'm excited. I want to keep on writing. I love to write, and so this was a way to get my my calling card.
Yeah, very cool.
Can you hear that sound? I don't know if you're picking up on that.
Are we shaking it? Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we're shaking that, and then we're going to strain it. Rachel, you don't happen to have this recipe in front of you. Can you
Oh, I
talk
do.
about what it is that we're about to drink here? See, I'll just keep putting you on the spot. This is what I'm going to do.
You want me to read what is
What?
listed?
And
Why
let's,
don't
Are
you
you
have?
using a
I think you
specific-
should have Brian.
Specific vodka for the Bill Mary?
there is a specific vodka called for in the Bloody Mary. In the
The
Bloody-
Slovenia
Bill.
vodka.
Yes.
Slovenia vodka, yeah.
Yep.
There's actually a specific reference to that. I don't think I think some people know this and some people don't know this, but there is a vodka called Slovenia, which is made in Slovenia, that's been in the States for a couple of years. And the reason that drink is called the Bill Mary, one, as a variation of Bloody Marys, but two, Bill Murray is an ambassador of Slovenia vodka. So I
Oh,
wanted
I
to
didn't
do
know that.
a nod, so to speak, to not only Bloody Marys, obviously, but to Bill Murray, who I did get to meet in Madison, Wisconsin, a long time ago, right about the time I became a bartender and learned how to make a Bloody Mary. So
Awesome.
that's a kind of cool little story. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. So
Yeah.
do you recall what else is in this thing? It's a little more high maintenance drink. It's not. You're not going to just
It
throw
is a
this
little
together.
bit, yeah. There's some red pepper flakes. There's it's coconut water and vodka, pretty much equal parts. And I kind of wanted it to be this like healthy version of something that you could have that wasn't as like the typical. It's one of those new modern day creative recipes that isn't as viscous and soupy as some Bloody Marys tend to get, especially if you're using like prepackaged Bloody Mary mix. Those can
Oh,
be awfully
yeah.
thick and viscous if you don't watch out. And I wanted something as an alternative, because when I was doing my research and investigating a lot of recipes, I would always come across, there's always 5 or 10% of people who said they didn't really care for Bloody Marys because of the thickness and the way that that like soupy texture kind of made it a little too mealy for them to drink. And so using coconut water and tomato water, which is a variation of tomato juice without the skins, makes it far more thinner and
Yeah.
and therefore more drinkable. So having vodka and tomato water and coconut water, there's this like nice little balance of almost like a tomato martini Bloody Mary version that I was going for. And yeah, I mean, apart from that, there's I believe the garnish I was aiming for was having half rim of salt and half rim of black pepper to kind of give people an option of picking something spicy or something savory. And then the High Life Chaser, which was a cannonball. In honor
Cannonball.
of-
It's a
in honor of
little
Academy
harsh.
Fest.
It's a little harsh. Yeah, well, we just poured it. I shook it up. I made this up in advance, and we are drinking it out of martini glasses. And wow, yeah, it does almost seem like it would be a healing thing to drink with a hangover.
Yeah.
That coconut water.
Absolutely. And I love
really
that,
unique.
like, Bloody Marys get like that. The action word they use often is restorative. And I love that it is the national beverage for January 1st,
Yeah.
New Year's Day, for all the almighty hangovers that we share amongst one another. And yeah, I thought that this would be definitely, especially with coconut water. I've kind of like I got obsessed with coconut water when it first came out because
Yeah.
I did have my fair share of hangovers, and I felt like that made me feel better than anything else I drank the morning after. Apart from just getting back on the horse and drinking more beer or alcohol, what have you.
You can take the
I
boy
just
out
love
of
coconut water.
Wisconsin, but you can't take
Yeah.
the Wisconsin out of the boy, evidently.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Hey, question for you. I always
Yep.
like to ask people who are, really appreciate a good Bloody Mary. What's the worst Bloody Mary you ever had? Do you remember it?
One, I would say I've had a couple that were way too heavy with Worcestershire, which can be overpowering, or way too spicy with horseradish, and particularly pickled horseradish. If you put pickled horseradish in and let it sit for too long in a mix, if you've already added a lot, it can just overpower, I think. But the Worcestershire definitely caught me off. That sodium and the savory quality is a little imbalanced. It definitely it throws me off.
Well, I know you got to get back to work, and we have 2 more of your awesome recipes that we're going to make up here. We won't make
Cool.
you sit through listening to us. It gets
As
sloppy
much as I
by
would
the-
love to, yes.
by the time we're done. But yeah, well, I got to say, I think this is a great book. And Rachel,
Thank you.
yeah, pointed out a couple things about it too. The book itself. Do you remember how you phrased that? I was
Well,
drunk when you said it.
I just said it was beautifully put together. Like, I love I'm kind of a nerd about that stuff, but like the font, the matte photographs rather than glossy, like
Yeah.
everything's just it's very subtly classy and beautiful. Like, I think it's really well done. So,
Thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and thank you too, Greg. That was one of my favorite parts about the finished product. Obviously, was that I honestly I'm critical of a lot of my writing and whatever I produce, but the opportunity to do something like this, it was a collaborative effort. The photographer was great. The stylist who worked for the publishing house was great. My editor, the whole team was phenomenal. So I was lucky to work with really talented people who submitted some ideas and thoughts during the collaboration that made it just really great. So
Yeah.
I'm really humbled and grateful that you guys enjoyed it, and I've heard nothing but really nice things from a lot of people.
Yeah. And yeah, this is something I think people would love to have on their shelf. And I'm gonna post a link where people can buy it on our website. And your publisher was kind enough to offer up a copy for one of our listeners that they're going to offer
Awesome.
as a prize. So at least one person will get it for free.
Very cool.
Yeah. So now, yeah, great work. Really a nice book, and it's nice talking with you. Thanks for taking
Thank
time
you.
out. I'm sure you're a busy guy taking care of all those different bars and restaurants. So,
Yeah, honestly, yeah. The people in New York drink like they're from Wisconsin sometimes. It's crazy. They're thirsty folk.
good for them. Well, we've been talking with Brian Bartels, author of The Bloody Mary, the lore and legend of a cocktail classic. Thanks a lot, Brian. And we're going to let you go, and we're going to continue in this spirit and try a couple more of these recipes. So you have a good one. Thanks a lot. So while Brian goes back to work, we're going to go to work.
Okay.
Drinking some more of his creations, moving right along. And we're going to try the smoked Bloody Bull. And just as a precursor, what I did to get ready for this, I mixed it in advance. And then you take the glass and you smoke the inside of the glass with your wood of choice. I don't want to hear about your wood of choice, Rachel. It's not what this show's about. But this is some apple wood that I used. Actually, right out of the backyard. I have a crab tree out there, an apple, and brought some little dried chunk of wood there. Smoked the inside of the glass, and in it, what did I put in there? Do you have the recipe in front of you? I don't remember, for crying out loud.
There is vodka, beef broth, tomato juice, Tabasco sauce, orange juice, and black pepper.
Yeah, fairly straightforward. A very savory recipe. Putting that beef broth in there thins it out a little bit, but gives it some umami, right?
Is that what it is?
That's what I call it.
What's umami?
I make this shit up as I go along. I don't know.
What is it?
Well, that's like a, they had defined the different taste sensors in the tongue, the mouth. Like there's sweet tip of the tongue, and there's the sour on the sides.
Okay.
Bitter on the back of the tongue, salty kind of in the middle. But they had recently, I don't know, 2 years ago, identified sort of we're up to 4 or 5, the 5th flavor that is called umami. And this is the flavor you get from cooking things for long, like meats that have been slow cooked all day, that kind of thing. Soy sauce, think of that.
Okay.
Umami.
That's what this has? This is hitting your umami zone?
Oh, yeah, I got my umami working right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. And we're garnishing it with an orange peel.
Yeah, it's good.
Because Brian says to. We just do what he says. What do you think, Rachel? In your own words.
In my own words.
Don't plagiarize.
Well, let me taste it again. Gotta be fresh.
And our listeners can hear every clinking of it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get high quality.
I think there's a lot going on there.
There is.
There's a lot of, I think it's hitting different, okay, if you're talking about hitting different zones of taste, that's hitting different ones. That's very cool. Like, this one is, I just think it's doing more, not to knock Bill Murray, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth.
There's, There's definitely more going on with this.
There's that spice.
And then the sweet, there's citrus.
There's a little sweet from the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice balance. I really like this one. To be honest, when we were off mic, I said, I don't think I'm going to like this one. I poured it, and it smelled kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. But, man, the first sip, it's pretty good. Hey, so we got a little time to finish this, and we might as well fill that time with something of interest to our listeners. Hey, here's an idea. Provide something of interest to the listeners. We've done such things in the past as, singing, karaoke. We've done nude dancing. That was a flop. That didn't go over very well. We've done
you did not do
obscure profanity. We did. No one knew we did it, though. That's the thing.
Did you really do it, though?
We really did.
Nude dancing?
Yep.
How many people were nude?
All of us.
No, you weren't.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing. Nobody even knew it. It was kind of you know what I mean? It's like, it's a podcast. That was dumb. I really thought that'd be
if I was having to sit here naked, I would definitely say different things.
Yeah. Do you want to try that?
No.
This is a trick. I try to use this on every guest. No one has
So
fallen for it yet.
you've never done nude dancing. It's just something you say.
That's correct. Damn it. So let's go to the news.
Now, this week in Bloody Mary news.
So our listeners want to know what's going on in the world, but maybe they don't care about what Trump is up to. Maybe they don't care about Saudi Arabia, the Pope, or any of that. There's news that might be getting overlooked that's probably more germane and relevant to our listeners. And so I have assembled a few stories here just to keep you folks up to date. Rachel, you kind of liked the top story there.
All right. Police. Okay, well, this is the title. Police threaten drunk drivers with bizarre Nickelback punishment. Dun dun dun. Apparently, I think this is on Prince Edward Island. If you get pulled over under the influence of alcohol, you will be forced to listen to the band's third album, Silver Side Up, on the way to jail.
Oh, the third one, the dreaded
third one.
Wow.
Not even as
Right. Cruel and unusual
that
punishment.
is.
I love to drink and I love to drive, but this just sends home that message. You don't drink and drive. Holy shit.
Plus, you're in a cop car. You're already feeling like shit.
Right. Like just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
Like, who knows what's going through your head, and as you're being arrested, and then fucking Nickelback all the way.
I feel like that might almost be dangerous. Like couldn't
might drive someone over the edge.
It might make them kind of agitated and perhaps here's one I like. Suspected drunk driver crashes car into sheriff's new anti-DUI vehicle. He got the message, but apparently only once it was too late. Police in Northwest Florida say they charged a man with driving under the influence after he crashed his car into a sheriff's office vehicle that was being used to warn motorists against drunk driving. So these are these cars. I don't know if you've seen them, but the front end looks like a cab and the back is a squad car.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
Yeah. So a Citrus County Sheriff's Office, Paul Wilkins, 63.
Oh, so on the side it says a cop or a cab, you decide. And
Exactly. So it's a car that is half cab and half cop car. And it's supposed to provide a visual like, hey, how do you want to go home tonight? In a squad car? And then this guy,
just shoved it.
Paul Wilkins, comes slamming into his car.
He pushed it 30 feet.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing. He made a real statement. I guess he made
30 feet? That's really
nothing.
far.
That's nothing to be proud of, Russ.
To push a car. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you think he hit the rear or the front? It looks like he decided on.
Does it say?
No, it doesn't. Some of the news is disturbing.
You would have just kept your foot on the gas to push a car 30 feet.
He was sleeping.
He was totally sleeping.
He was refreshed when he woke up in the morning because he'd been out he's in REM sleep while
They probably let him sleep it off and just played Nickelback until he awoke.
Worst hangover ever. Well, the only worst hangover would be waking up with Bill Cosby, which leads me to the next story of interest. This is bad. This
bad.
one is disturbing. I don't know if I should even laugh at this. Should I? Maybe you can tell the story. You're a woman, so if you tell it, maybe it isn't going to be as controversial. Well, we're just reporting the news. We don't make it, right? Now we're building it up.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, we are. Bill Cosby themed drink with pills stirs controversy. Prompts apology from DC bar.
Oh man.
So it was a drink titled the Pill Cosby. And
the Pill Cosby, gotcha.
The owners of the bar. Okay, so it was a tequila hibiscus cocktail garnished with empty pill capsules. Oh. I think you can put it together now.
Yeah, that's not good.
The name of this bar that did this is called Diet Starts Monday. So I don't know that they were exactly flaunting their.
Right. We don't look to them probably as an example
No.
of, you know.
Apparently,
exemplary-
after the backlash, the drink was. This is what the owner said. The drink was originally intended to educate customers on the dangers of druggings at drinking establishments.
Okay, so they're trying to spin it.
So
like
if you, they're trying to spin it like it was a
public
don't
awareness.
do drugs. Yeah, like a
They're not celebrating
public
it.
service announcement. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I would do too if
Bill
I got
Cosby.
caught. I mean, God. Yeah. So this is the news you're not getting on Fox or
Yeah.
CNN.
You
I
are
mean,
missing out
You're
on the
missing
world.
out. And that's why you listen to us. We'll take good care of you. Don't worry. We'll keep you in the know.
Yep.
Was there another story worth sharing? I had a bunch of them. A lot of them were just dumb, though, weren't they? This one kind of
Binge drinking.
near
Which one are
and
you looking
dear
at?
to my heart. Study reveals dramatic rise in binge drinking among those over 50. Baby boomers.
Oh, but no, this can't. It's mostly being done by women.
Oh, it is. Well, that's near and dear to my heart because,
Oh,
right?
new. Okay.
They're vulnerable. I might be good looking to them.
You're gonna tap
You know,
that market.
Yeah, you damn right.
Good luck.
So, yeah.
They're gonna give you a pill Cosby.
Uh-oh. You know, actually, I like to take a roofie before I go out, so I don't remember.
So you can.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
So, yeah, historically speaking, no strangers to the consciousness-altering substances are clearly back in the thick of things. A new study just determined that they are binge drinking with renewed fervor. And I love the word fervor. Just going to say
Well,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good
it's a
word.
good word.
News that followed on the heels of another study that found they've rediscovered marijuana.
So a bunch of 50-plus women are drinking and smoking
Schwilling.
pot like crazy.
Partying like rock stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Did that give you enough time to finish that drink? Oh shit, that's your third one of these? You must really like these.
Yeah, I've been like smoking the underside of glasses in the corner.
Yeah, well, you're not over 50, but you have a renewed fervor for smoking
I
as
do.
well. That's what I heard.
Yes.
That's what I heard. Let's try this third.
I'm surrounded by drinks right now. Do you see this?
I do. I see that a lot, actually. This podcast is no stranger to the littering.
To this
of-
scene? I mean,
yeah.
I can just put my hand down and take my pick.
We get done recording these things, and it looks like bar time at a very busy tavern.
In a campground.
Yeah, it's totally worth it though for our listeners who they love us. They listen 100,000 downloads. You know, I'm trying not to let that go to my head. You know,
They need more of these though.
And what are those? What is
This-
that you're holding?
This
Boy, that's
is a
attractive.
sticker. It is. This
Yeah.
is a Johnny Cash sticker holding a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. It looks to me like a fairly high quality vinyl sticker with rounded corners. Am I correct about that?
Those. That is exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
You
well.
took the words out of my mouth.
We shouldn't even bring that up. Good luck finding one. Where would you even, right? I mean, you're not going to get a sticker like that. We have them, but
Yeah.
unless you're like, there's a website.
You
that
gotta
sold
you gotta
them.
be in the know.
Right. MyBigFatBloodyMary.com. Get the fucking stickers, you cheap ass. Daddy needs vodka. Let's try this third recipe
Yeah.
for crying out loud. And this one is, it sounds like the boss to me. It's got a cool name, Commander's Palace Bloody.
It's a big deal.
It's kind of, we'll be the judge of that.
True.
So let's move on to our third and final recipe from Brian Bartles, BJ Bartles, as he's known in Reedsburg.
Is he really?
Well, at least to someone.
You?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
I can't believe you guys connected on a. I know someone who knows somebody.
It happens everybody I interview.
I
there's
don't ever
some-
do that.
Really?
No.
My tentacles are out everywhere.
Because you're okay.
I've actually been arrested for that.
How many times have you
Sir?
listened to Nickelback's album?
times than I want to admit.
You love it now.
Moving
don't you?
right along. Let's get on to this third and final recipe. Now, this one is called the Commander, as I mentioned. What is it? What the hell is it called?
The Commander's Palace Bloody.
Commander's Palace.
It's a good name.
It does. It commands a little respect,
It does.
doesn't it?
It's right there.
And it's kind of again, I can't read, and you have the book in front of you, but I think it's a New Orleans type kind
It
of
is.
inspiration.
It is from New Orleans.
So what am I drinking here?
This has got Creole seasoning for the rim of the glass, and then it's got
Ooh.
vodka, tomato juice, horseradish. I can't say Worcestershire.
No, you can't.
I can't.
Worcestershire.
Say it again.
Don't look at how it's spelled. Worcestershire. It's not Worcestershire.
I didn't say that.
It's a dumb word.
It's got that.
And it's got to be capitalized. You'll get auto-corrected if you
Are you serious?
do a small.
Is it
yeah.
someone's name? No, it's a city. I don't know.
Fuck
whatever.
if I know.
It's got Crystal hot sauce and Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, my grocery list was a little weird this week. I had to pick up a
Totally.
few things I don't normally get, and I have some leftovers.
What is Crystal hot sauce? That's an actual, that's a specific hot sauce?
Yeah, it's very similar to like a Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a real overpowering hot sauce.
Okay.
But it's
Is
a
that
pepper. It's a
you use
pepper.
this exactly though?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So
I spilled.
right as the recipe calls for, the garnish in the tradition of the southern Louisiana. What is it? Okra.
Pepper, okra, and sugar cane.
Yeah, which is exactly what's in front of you. Wait, that's not what that is.
Actually, it's not.
It's not. You know what? So yes, Erica went out and shopped, and she bought some okra. But we're in the north. You can't just buy. Oh, here's fresh okra. Here's
Yeah.
whole. Here's pickled. We just don't have that shit. She came home with a can of okra, but it was sliced. Oh my god, it looked like
It was gross.
it was gross. I wasn't going to give you that.
No,
Rachel.
thanks.
I wouldn't.
I appreciate that.
I wouldn't do that to you. So instead, I opted for, because what we have here is it's kind of a lot of strong flavors going on.
It's lovely, though.
And I thought I did cucumber instead, because I thought that's cool. Like the okra would be more of a cooling,
Yeah,
so
I
I
see.
substituted a nice fresh chunk of cucumber. And then, but yeah, I do have the pepper, and I threw in an olive just because. Sugar cane? I don't know what the fuck. Where do you get that? Come on, man.
I don't know, but it would have been good.
I failed.
Well,
In any case,
we were never going to be New Orleans.
exactly. Not for a minute. But we
I
have.
mean, we got the river, but same river, totally different vibe.
Right. Yeah,
But this
we're
is
north.
this looks good.
Well, have you tried drinking it?
I did actually. I already did my ooh-ah.
You did.
It's really good. It's really good.
So, oh yeah, there's a lot of horseradish. When I was making it, I thought, wow, I like horseradish. I don't normally put that much in there. Yeah. And the Cajun spice that's on the rim, honestly, I didn't even know what that was, but we found it. We have a can of it, and that's got a lot of cool flavors. Like you don't want to use a straw. When you have a good rim salt like that, forget the straw. Just kind of, that's pretty nice.
That is really nice.
It reminds me of, it does, like a little gumbo kind of. There's that, maybe it's the horseradish, but I'm thinking of like a shrimp cocktail kind of
Yeah, definitely.
flavor.
It's
That
delicious.
Might be my favorite one of the three.
I think it's a big winner.
Fantastic. Luckily, I made a quadruple batch of this, so you have another one.
This was good too, though. I don't know.
See, our listeners can't really tell what you're pointing at when you say
They
that.
can't because I have
This was
47
really
glasses
good.
in front
You're
of me.
actually pointing at a bottle of vodka right now. Yes, I agree. That was very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gave up on all the drink,
Yeah.
all the mixes, just the vodka.
Wow. So, okay, we've done everything. We've covered it all, but let's get back to this contest. People want this book, right?
They should.
They should. They should. I have one.
You've got one.
Yeah, and you can buy them. I'm going to put a link on the website, mybigfatbloodymary.com. That's where you get the stickers, but you can also buy the book there. But if you're lucky and you help us out, share a link to the podcast, either the Stitcher, and we'll put it out on our Facebook page and on Twitter, all over the place. If all you got to do is share it, and we'll see that you've shared it, and I'll put you in the drawing, and the publisher will mail you a copy if you win of The Bloody Mary by Brian Bartles. So that's the contest. So write us an iTunes review. We'll also put you in the drawing. Like us on Facebook. We're My Big Fat Bloody Mary Podcast. Visit our website, mybigfatbloodymary.com. Next time, we are going to be talking to Kat Odell about her book. Yeah, we're all fucking literary now. We're doing book reviews left and right. This one caught my attention. It's called Day Drinking, Low ABV Cocktails. So we're going to help you drink all day long and not, you're
really aiming for that 50+ category.
Pretty much.
Get it.
Yeah, that's proven to be our target market. So, yeah. So, yeah, hit us up on Facebook, My Big Fat Bloody Mary Podcast. On the web, mybigfatbloodymary.com. On Twitter, My Big Fat Bloody Mary. On Instagram, Big Fat Bloody Mary. And on Snapchat, Big Papa.
Throw your hands in the air if you think you're a player. Love it when you call me Big Papa.